They had a jukebox, man, it was fiddle and pedal steel non-stop. Down at the honky-tonk, it was a different scene. No IPAs, no skinny jeans. Things are in, then they're out. But the thing that the cool kids are all saying now is country's coming back. Buy some boots and get a hat.
All right, we got Lucas Jagneaux here out of Manning, Louisiana. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, I'm doing good, Nick. How's it going, brother?
Not too bad, man. I really appreciate you joining us today. It was kind of a last minute thing, but you know, I saw a few posts that you've been doing on Instagram, and I know you got a new single coming out, which we just talked about, but I just felt like it was a great time to help promote your music and promote the band, and you know, so I appreciate you joining us here with us with Joyride today. If you could, Lucas, for people who aren't familiar with the Lucas Jagneaux and the Roadshow, maybe people who are, that just want to learn a little more about you, if you don't mind, just let people know who you are, where you're from, and some musical influences that you've had growing up in your life.
Once again, my name is Lucas Jagneaux. I front the band The Roadshow. We've been together for, we started out as another band name, under another name about 9 years ago. So we've been doing a lot of jamming over the last few years and just trying to make a name for ourselves anywhere we can. Our biggest influences were lots of traditional country and even some southern rock, and the roots run deep. You know, most of all my band's family members played music before we ever were alive, so it's cool to continue the tradition. So yeah, that's kind of a small backstory there.
Yeah, so are you all? I know your last name being Jagneaux, but are you? So obviously you got Cajun in your roots. Are you born and raised Louisiana all your life? Your family's been there for years.
That's right, man. That's right. My grandfather is the one, obviously, who gave me the last name, and he moved up from South Louisiana when he was younger, in his younger years, and ended up in Beaumont, Texas, before coming up towards Shreveport, Louisiana, and settling when he married my grandmother. So I've been here my whole life, man. You know, we've left a few times, but we always come back.
That's an awesome story, and you know, you gotta love the Creole and the Cajun. So I'm glad we're bringing some spice with today's episode.
Hey, man, we try to, you know. Got some good food over here. You ought to come and eat sometime.
Hey man, I love it. Crawfish, it's right up my alley. Hey, Lucas, what we're doing this season, I've mentioned it, I think every episode, but we're talking about the underdog. You know, overcoming these obstacles, and you know, your roadshow, or maybe you just personally. Do you have maybe an obstacle or a hurdle that maybe you look back in the past and you're really glad that you overcame that, and it basically got you to where you are now?
Man, you know, absolutely. I think everybody does, but I know for my personal backstory would be, you know, the biggest hurdle we struggle with, and probably still struggle with just a little bit today, is trying to get out of the realm of being taken as a cover band or a jukebox, if you will. When we play some gigs, we started out as that. You know, we've always written our own music, but we didn't always play it live, and it took a few years before we kind of stepped out and started letting people hear what we had to say and what we had written down. So I would think that over the past few years, we've really started to push more toward being original and being more authentic in what we present to people at our shows. So, and it's been fun. It's been real. You know, you step out of that light of trying to sound and be and look like somebody else, and you start learning to be yourself. And it's liberty, man. It's freedom. It's fun.
Yeah, I wanted to mention too, I mean, you just recently, 2019, you won the songwriters competition with the Texas Music Pickers, and I really want you to plug your new single, but we just talked earlier before this, is that because of that, it provided you some studio time. If you want to maybe share a little bit of that with our audience.
Yeah, you know, I'd been a part of a songwriter contest earlier that year of 2019. It was the first one I'd ever done, and it kind of didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted to. Obviously, I got second place in that one, and was kind of down. You know, I was proud for the winner because we were good friends before the contest, so that was really cool for him, you know. But still in all, I think the competitive side of it, you know, you want to win. So, but I was down in the dumps. I wasn't going to do the Texas Music Pickers contest, and my wife pressed, and my brother, who is also my drummer and kind of my band manager and booking agent, all rolled into one. He was like, "Man, you really need to do that. You really need to do it." And well, I figured, you know, least that could happen was I get to stand on the stage at the Tap and play some songs that I wrote. So we went for it, and I went down there, and to my surprise and to my excitement, I ended up taking it home. So
that's awesome.
That was really cool. Lots of good opportunities came after that. I would say that was probably the biggest door that opened up for me over the last 2 years.
Well, we really appreciate you sharing that with us, and we'll give you a chance to plug the new song, but we are really looking forward to it. So, but I gotta ask Lucas, are you ready for the lightning round?
I don't know. Let's do it.
All right, well, let me pull over real quick. All right, this season, it's really almost the end of football season. I'm promoting today the Fredericksburg Billies. They didn't quite make the playoffs, but they hit 5-5. So I just wanted to give a shout out to the school, to the kids, to the faculty, the crew, for going through it. It was a tough season, but we're also during this season we're really promoting local businesses. So Lucas, you got a local business that you want to promote with us today?
Yeah, I think I want to shout out my good friends and buddies over at Cane River Brewing Company in Natchitoches, Louisiana. They have a killer staff. They've supported us in our music from day one since we met them without any kind of connection beforehand. It was just a mutual respect, and they've got great quality beer that they make on their own. They've even got a bistro inside their facility now that they're making food. So if you're in the area, I would definitely highly recommend those guys over there, Cane River Brewing Company, for sure.
And a bistro. You can't beat that. Food and beer.
No, drink and eat.
Yeah. All right, perfect. Well, we'll look that up, and we'll definitely plug that. I appreciate you doing that. All right, Lucas, Jagneaux, let's go. Here we go. We got the lightning round. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. If you check out Lucas's Instagram page, I noticed you got Luke Combs, you got Cody Johnson, but if you could only pick one, who you got?
Kojo.
Yeah, I thought you'd say that, especially the song you played.
Oh yeah, I just covered one of his tunes the other night for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Lucas, if we're driving from coast to coast, what musician do you want as your co-pilot?
I'm gonna have to go with probably my brother, Tobin Jagneaux. May sound cheesy and crazy, but that's my best friend and probably one of my biggest critics, yet one of my biggest fans, and I'm the same person for him. So I say I'd go with him.
I appreciate that answer. I got a relationship like that with my brother. I'd probably want him too. So
brother's love is a brother's love.
A brother's love is a brother's love, right?
That's right, man.
All right. Well, we're on this road trip, Lucas, and we're looking through a playlist on your phone. Is there a band or a musician that would surprise us?
Maybe King Harvest, Dancing in the Moonlight. I don't know. You may not be surprised by it. I don't know.
You cover? You do a cover?
I haven't. I tried to learn the piano part to that song years ago, and I gave up because I couldn't work it out. But I might should try that again someday.
Yeah, man, I can see you playing that with the fiddle. If you play the fiddle, I don't know. You got it right behind you.
Yeah, we could try to throw that in there somehow.
I think so. All right.
Yeah.
All right, last question. You're doing great, but because I'm feeling festive here, last question. At the Thanksgiving dinner table, what's the first thing you're grabbing?
Oh, man. I gotta go with the fried turkey.
Yeah?
I gotta go with the fried.
So you fry it over baking it?
Yeah, oh yeah, my preference for sure.
I've noticed that it's definitely a southern thing, is frying.
Yeah. I don't think I'd ever had one until about 5, 6 something years ago, maybe. It had always been just baked, oven baked turkey, but I tried the fried one and I'm like, yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that. All right, hey, Lucas, you did great. We really appreciate those answers, especially Thanksgiving.
Oh, man, I'm ready.
Yeah, so am I, man. I'm ready to eat. All right, you have a new single. I want to give you a chance, really, before we get into it, how do we listen to you? How do we find you on social media?
So we are pretty much everywhere. I'm on Facebook at Lucas Jagneaux Music, and then Instagram is just a bit different because I have a personal page under Lucas Jagneaux where I just kind of do my own thing, and then our band page, the official band page, is at The Road Show, with show being spelled SHEAUX, like my last name is. And then the very same for Twitter. I have a personal page and then also a band page where we kind of do two different things there as far as content goes. You know, sometimes I'll say things and do things that may not jive with trying to promote music, you know, so I like to keep a personal page at least, you know, on all platforms. But you can find us anywhere. You know, we have music on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, which is one and the same now, I guess, and then we're there too. So
cool.
You can't hide.
Awesome. All right, if you want to, real quick, talk about your new single. I don't know if you have a date, but The Worst Thing About Texas.
Yeah, so November 27th, we'll be dropping the next single, Worst Thing About Texas. I don't know how much of it you want me to cover as far as where it came from and all that.
That's up to you.
It was an idea that we had. Naturally, as we've said many times in this interview already, you know, we're from Louisiana, my whole band is, and we started out, once again, being almost a cover band, even though we'd written a few of our own tunes, but we soon learned over the last I'd say the last 4 or 5 years that traveling to Texas, playing our original music was the place to be to try to do that sort of thing, because people just appreciated it more than back home. And I don't know why that is, but people in Texas just love country music, and they love original country music. And one night on the way home, you know, we were discussing it, and I believe it was my steel player, Waylon, who was like, man, I tell you what, the worst thing about Texas is having to leave or having to go home or something like that. And we were like, yeah, that's a pretty good idea for a song there. So we stewed on it for, I don't know, probably over a year actually, and then we turned it into kind of a mixture. I love to play with words, so I'm ended up turning it into kind of a love heartbreak style song, yet mixing in the original idea. So that's kind of the backstory there. And then it was actually the last song I played in the 2019 Texas Music Pickers contest that I don't know if it won it for me, but it was the last one I played. So that's pretty interesting that it led us into the studio to end up recording that song. So it's been a good one. I love it, and I'm ready for everybody to hear it. So
We are looking forward to it, but I really hate to let you go. I love to chat. If you want, I could talk about Thanksgiving dinner all day. But we gotta let you go. We gotta kick you to the.
We better stop.
Yeah,
I hadn't had supper yet.
I agree. But I gotta kick you to the roadside. But before I do,
All right, man.
all we want is a song. If you don't mind playing a song for us.
Cool, man. I'll pick you one.
All right, go ahead whenever you're ready.
55 and a 50, flying down 59, a few miles away from that old Nacogdoches County line. Staggering water towers, backdrop Texas blue. The trees are painted in autumn leaves, can't help but think of you. Spinning around on the dance floor, sawdust beneath our feet. Every night I spent with you is my favorite memory. But the worst thing about Texas, baby, is knowing that I gotta leave. And as my wheels roll, my heart feels broke, hanging out on my sleeve. And when I see the sunshine on that old state line, it becomes so clear to me. Worst thing about Texas, baby, is having to leave. I'll never forget that summer and all of the loving we made. It was so hard to beat that East Texas heat, so we spent it all in the shade. And I was nervous to meet your mama, Did your daddy have to act so tough? I guess the bill of my hat was just a little too flat, 'cause he sure didn't like me much. Still we tore down those county roads just as fast as my truck would fly. Must not have been too bad, baby, I go back every time I close my eyes. Yeah, the worst thing about Texas, baby, is knowing that I gotta leave. And as my wheels roll, my heart feels broke, hanging out on my sleeve. And when I see the sunshine on that old state line, it becomes so clear to me. Worst thing about Texas, baby, is having to leave. We could talk all day, I could go on and on about the good, the bad, what's right and what's wrong. From the star-painted sky to this damned old weather. And even though I ain't gone forever, the worst thing about Texas, baby, is knowing that I gotta leave. And as my wheels rolling, I'm headed back home. I need you here by me. And when I see the sunshine on that old state line, it becomes so clear to me. Worst thing about Texas, baby, is having to leave. Having to leave.
Lucas, that was great. Hey, man, we really appreciate that. Oh, man, that's awesome. I look forward to your new single. And I can only wish you and your band, The Road Show, a happy Thanksgiving. And I can't wait to see you guys performing next time.
Hey man, Nick, I appreciate you, brother, for having me on. Thank you so much, Bandwagon TV. Looking forward to getting some new music out to you, man. I hope you enjoy it.
I appreciate that. Well, hopefully we will catch up soon and it'll be live performing somewhere.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, man. Well, hey, have a good one. Take care. And we'll talk to you soon.
Same to you, man. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, you too.